Hello everyone, Citizens United here, and it's Man City first Watford tomorrow. We're away to Watford, and it's probably a tough game than it looks on paper. Watford just played Chelsea and lost 2-1. Chelsea is struggling to score at the moment, so maybe that doesn't say much. But we had a tough game against Villa away, and we won 2-1. What I will say is I'm hoping a few players are back, because I said it in my match reaction, and I said it during the watch-along against Villa, that we were lacking massive creativity. And without De Bruyne, without Gundogan, without Foden, obviously Grealish has just come back. That centre of the pitch was pretty rough for us with Fernandinho and Roger. We had no run really creating anything. Fernandinho did well, Roger did well, of course, but we needed someone in there to be feeding them through balls and to be carrying the ball forward. Fortunately, though, we did have Bernardo Silva, and just to sit on him for a while. Pep called him the best in the Premier League at the moment, and it's hard to argue against it. I mean, I was looking at Sky Sports stats the other day, and that's what they are. So you can see for us, he's got 5 goals. I mean, that's shocking that that's our leading goal scorer and tally, but we're doing quite well with him. He's working hard, of course, and we look at it as well. I mean, dribbles attempted 38. He is good on the ball. He doesn't lose it. For someone of his size as well, I mean, I think he's the same height as me. I can't kick a ball forward, but he seems to keep hold of it. He's got a lot of good strength. He runs up and down the pitch. He defends well. And the one that surprised me as well was the duels one. He's second on the team for duels one. I have said before that our defense has been the highlight of the season for me. Probably isn't for many people, but I think our defense has really developed this season. Although you look at the last 3 games, I think we've won them 3 of them 2-1. So we are conceding too many goals, but I think the defence has worked really hard, and I think against Villa as well, it was our defence that won us the game, with Edison one-on-one save as well. He definitely helped us win it. But with our lack of goals this season, and the 5 goals at the top of the team for Bernardo, shows you that we are lacking goals, that we haven't got anyone putting the ball in the net, we haven't got anyone, poaching. Desperately what we need in January, I think, one of those goal poachers, someone that's going to put the ball in the net, not just carry the ball forward. But Bernardo has been there, He's working hard, he's playing hard, and he's back to his best. A couple of years ago when he won Player of the Year, he was phenomenal. Every City fan loves him. We've all loved him since day one. Last season and the season before, maybe he had a bit of a drop-off. It's hard to say. I mean, I remember the thing on Twitter he had when he got done for what he tweeted about mending things, and I think that maybe affected him. And you got to remember as well, the footballers are people that they do go through things in real life. They could have anything going on that you don't know about, and that's going to affect their on the pitch performance. But this season, he looks hungry, he looks back, whether that was because we tried to sell him in the summer, which I don't think any City fan was on board with. I certainly wasn't. But if that's affected him and that's got his A game back, well, I'm glad. May it continue. I mean, try and sell him this coming summer if he's going to play like that for us. But yeah, glad to have him on board. And did he deserve man of the match against Villa? I mean, sure. I mean, he's always up there for me. He's one of the he's player of the season for me at the moment. But I thought Diaz should have got it against Villa. I thought he was phenomenal in defence. Now, let's look forward though, shall we? Because when I look at Watford and I look at their performance against Chelsea, I think they did all right. I think they were defensively they were a bit rough, but I mean they're going to be defending most of the game anyway. Watford. I think they're probably going to go down. Them and Norwich definitely going to go down. And Chelsea don't really score a lot of goals to like us, so I think it could be tough. That's why I think it's going to be an interesting game for us. Of course, we're away. And Watford do have some important games coming up. They've got Burnley away, and they've got Wolves coming up as well. So they do have some crunching games that they're going to need to win if they want to stay up. And I don't think they will stay up. Our next league games, and we've got Leipzig after these away. Doesn't really matter. We've already through. We've already won the group. I mean, we're going to try and win that, of course, but it doesn't really matter. For our next league games, we've got Leeds at home, and we've got Newcastle away coming up. I'm not really sure who the next one is before that, but we've got 2 home games, and we've got Newcastle away. December's thick and fast. We do need to win all these games. And people are saying, yeah, easy wins. And maybe I'm being a bit pessimistic, but I don't think so. When you look at the Villa game, we had a lot of injuries. Walker was out, Laporte's out, Stones was out, De Bruyne was out. De Bruyne hopefully will be back from COVID. Obviously Foden. We do need these players coming back, because without that creativity in midfield, I do think we're missing something, and we're not scoring the goals as it is. So how are we going to do it without De Bruyne or Gundogan or Foden running that midfield for us? So hopefully they come up, because we can't keep relying on 30-yard goals from Rodri or Diaz. I mean, it's great to see. I mean, Diaz's goal with his left foot as well. You knew he had a left foot. I haven't got a right foot. He's got right and left. Screamer, that was. Great goal. But we can't keep relying on that to win us games. Of course, they're the type of goals that do win your leagues, but we can't keep up, especially with Liverpool smashing every team 4-0 at the moment. They're playing like we were playing a couple of years ago, or have been for the last few years under Pep. So we need to pick it up a little bit. So I'm hoping for a big win. Against Watford, I think, we won like 5-0, 5-0, 6-0, 6-0, something like that. I want another one of those performances. But without the striker, I don't see it being like that. I think I can see it being another cagey 2-1, 3-1, something like that. But hopefully it's a big, big win. Set a statement down and give me a bit more confidence going into the few months going into December. Because through December, you're going to need to win every game. We know that, or at least drop as few points as possible. Liverpool have got Mane and Salah going away in January for the African Cup of Nations. We're going to lose Mahrez. I don't think that's going to be a huge loss on us. Takes away a different kind of tool for us, but it's not going to be a huge loss. But that's a big loss for Liverpool. Maybe not Mane at the moment, but Salah will definitely be a loss. So going into January, we need to pick up as many points as we can in December. And that's why we need big wins, because we need to go into these games with confidence, knowing that we can just blitz teams away again. Because this season, we have not really blitzed anyone. We've had games where we've scored a lot of goals, but we're not. They still just don't fill me with confidence, really. And that needs to change. I don't know what you all think, but that's my take on it. So yeah, hopefully a couple of these players are back, and we need De Bruyne back. And when he comes back, he needs to be the player he was over the last few years, not the player he's been this season. I'll give him a break because he's probably had a rough summer. Now, before I go, I just want to touch on one little thing, and that was these proposal ideas that have come in for the Premier League, these independent fan-led reviews and things like that. One of them is that Premier League teams should pay 10% transfer tax. I think that's for transfers incoming, maybe transfers outgoing as well, I'm not very sure, but it's saying that Premier League teams should pay 10% of the fee to the EFL clubs. Now, in principle, I get the idea behind it, but I'm not for it. No, I know all 20 league, Premier League teams are to vote against it, and I think that's the right call. I don't see how you can tax the Premier League teams 10% on transfers and send it to the leagues below. And one of the arguments is that some of the Championship owners are worth more than some of the Premier League owners. I mean, if we look at Watford, if we look at Norwich, and teams like West Brom are going to come up and things like that, are they meant to pay 10% tax as well? Because how can Norwich and Watford and Burnley and teams like that pay a 10% tax to the lower league teams? When there's already a huge gap. It's one of those situations where someone's looking at the top 3 teams, top 4 teams in the Premier League and thinking that's the same for everyone, that's the standard, so that's who we should attack. It doesn't work. And I think that's a terrible idea. And I'm stick with the Premier League clubs and vetoing against it. Yeah, you could say that maybe I'm a little bit biased because it affects City more than it's going to affect Burnley and things, but because we'll obviously have to pay more tax. But at the end of the day, you can't just tax or list everyone in the Premier League the same as the top 3 and top 4 teams. You can't do that. It's wrong, So stay against it. And yeah, I think that's everything to cover today. I just wanted to talk about Bernardo mainly and say how amazing he is and what a player he is, and I'm glad to have him back. And for me, he's played a year so far and may continue because we need him. He's such a workhorse. I mean, to have a player that runs hard, works hard, plays hard, and he's got all the technique, all the ability in the world, is a fan dream. And he's literally epitomizes what it's like to be a football fan and playing for your team. That's what it is. So yeah, long may that continue. So yeah, good win against Villa. We need a big win against Watford, I feel, by 4 goals, 5 goals. I'd love that. If it's another cagey affair, it's going to put me in an anxious state for the rest of December. But thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for checking us out. And if you could just like and subscribe to the video. Honestly, every like is really important. It means a lot to us as we try and grow. And even if you never watch us again, please just leave a like. It really does help. And that's me out. Big win tomorrow, boys. Have fun. Bye.